Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good day for my fellow classmates and also to our lecturer. So, my name is Misbahuddin Amrullah bin Mahda. I'll be presenting for the topic Halal Cosmetics along with my fellow members, Shazan Nadira and Pangeran Muhammad Diauddin. So, on my first slide, I would like to state the meaning of a verse from the Holy Quran, which is from Surah Al-Baqarah, verse 222. And they ask you about menstruation. Say, it is harm, so keep away from wives during menstruation, and do not approach them until they are pure. And when they have purified themselves, then come to them from where Allah has ordained for you. Indeed, Allah loves those who are constantly repentant and loves those who purify themselves. The verse can be understand that Allah loves those who are repentant and loves those that purify themselves. Purify here can be understand to be cleaning ourselves from dirt, and also keeping ourselves in a good manner or in good situation, which is also one of the purpose of cosmetics. Second is on the National Pharmaceutical Regulatory Agency, NPRA. NPRA is formerly known as National Pharmaceutical Control Bureau. It is established on October 1978 under the Quality Control Activity of Pharmacy and Supply Program. The function of the Bureau, National Pharmaceutical Control Bureau, is to implement quality control on pharmaceutical products. On 1985, NPRA was tasked to ensure the quality, efficacy, and safety of pharmaceutical through the registration and licensing scheme. They also provide drug information service for distributors of drugs, and also handles courses and provides training to drug regulatory personnel from other countries. In 1996, NPRA received international recognition by WHO, World Health Organization, as a WHO collaborating center for regulatory control of pharmaceuticals. Next, we learn something on registering cosmetic products. Cosmetic products that is registered or commonly known as notified shall be done online through NPRA Quest system via NPRA website. Can be seen as in the link in the slide. After compliance screening, CNH will be notified on results. CNH means Cosmetic Notification Holder. Okay, if they comply, the notification note will be generated, and the company can manufacture, import, and market cosmetic product. If they have not complied, the notification will be rejected. Okay, the notification is valid for 2 years and must be renewed 1 month prior to expiry. So according to the flowchart, to register cosmetic products, we need to first register Quest 3 system and then log in the Quest system. Then we must fill in the company for profile information within all the form, and then fill in authorized person details. This is those who will be responsible on the cosmetic products, and then complete the notification form along with the payment. Also, after that, there will be a compliance screening, which then will be divided into two, just like what I was said previously, if they comply or not comply. So for the next slide, it is about Sale of Drugs Act 1952. Sale of Drugs Act 1952 functioned as to regulate the sale of drugs in Malaysia, aimed at the manufacture of drugs, cosmetic, and everything else that is related to it. CDCR is one of the branches from the establishment of Sale of Drugs Act 1952. Those that is also related is Poison Act, Dangerous Drug Act 1952. So for the Sale of Drugs Act 1952, I would like to highlight two sections of the Act, which is on offences and penalties and also the presumption of law. For offences and penalties, there are 5 sections from section 10 until 14, which starts from offences and penalty, interference with official marks, general penalty, forfeiture of drugs upon conviction, and also notifications of conviction in newspaper. On the second section, on the second segment, presumption of law, which is section 15 until 17, starts from adulteration of drugs, sale by agent or servant, also presumption as to sell for consumption or use. So for offences, activities that can be deemed as offences in sale of drug acts is that adulterated drug without informing the purchaser, false or misleading statement purporting the characters of drug. Purporting means something that is claimed or stated to be the characters of drug but which is not, similar to the meaning of fraud or synonym of that. Addition, the third one is addition of prohibited substance, also proportion of substance exceeding the limitation, drug for internal use containing certain substance or drug which is not in the nature, substance or quality demanded by the purchaser, interference without authority on marks placed by officers or inspector. If there are offences, there must also be penalties. So for the general penalty in Sale of Drugs Act, it is on individual. He will be there will be consequences of a fine not more than 25,000 ringgit or not more than 3 years of imprisonment or both. So for if the party that is in fault is a body or an organization, there will be a fine of not more than 50,000 ringgit. For the second or subsequent offense, which means the first time is not more than 50,000 ringgit, but for the second or more or up, it will be not more than 100,000 ringgit. For the offense of interference with marks, the faulty party will be fine of 500 ringgit. So for the next slide, it is about presumptions of law. So the things that could be highlighted within the segment is that drug deemed to be adulterated if it contains or mix or diluted which diminish its beneficial properties as compared with its article in pure or normal state. Substance or ingredients that has been extracted or omitted therefrom and by reason of the extraction or omission lessen the beneficial properties of the from its pure and normal state. The third one is it contains or mixed or diluted with any substance of lower commercial value. And the fourth, contains substance rendering the drug injurious to health, which means it is harmful. Also, the last one, does not comply with standard prescribed by any regulation under the Act. That is what can be defined as adulterated drugs. For sale or by agent or servant, his employer or principal, which means the person on authority or responsible on the person, shall be under the same liability as if affected by the cell personally, which means if the agent committed an offense, the person or the authorized seller, the person above the agent, is also under the same liability, which means he also can be stated as committing an offense. Even for analysis, last point, even for analysis, the purchase of drugs shall be deemed as purchase and sale for human or animal consumption, which means any sale or any trading of drugs is deemed as a purchase unless it is proven otherwise by the seller. Okay, that's all for Sale of Drugs Act. Continuing is on CDCR. CDCR, which is an acronym for Control of Drug and Cosmetic Regulation. So for the registration and licensing, I would like to highlight a few points about that, which is an application fee for each product of cosmetic is 50 ringgit for each product or variant, if any. Notification of cosmetic, there are some few rules on the notification, which is no person shall manufacture, sell, supply, import, possess or administer any cosmetic unless it is cosmetic notified or registered cosmetic. The person responsible for marketing or authorized according to the notification not issued. So if the drug or the cosmetic is a mixture of notified cosmetic and any poison within the meaning of Poisons Act 1952, a mixture of notified cosmetic with another registered product labeled with additional name other than the name notified, label does not comply, notification has been cancelled, label with any word, symbol, letter, figure, mark or safety feature purporting to be true, which is otherwise. Okay, within CDCR, there is also a few segments that I would like to highlight, which is on the personnel and premise for this slide. So for the personnel, licensed manufacturer shall ensure that all personnel employed at all levels of manufacture must possess suitable qualifications, so they have adequate experience and technical competence, regularly trained and also medically examined regularly. For premises, notified cosmetics shall be manufactured, processed, packed, labeled and tested in a premise which is according with standard, which means that the premise must obey all the rules and requirement of standards. The premise must also have adequate storage and also maintained in a good and sanitary condition. This must be accompanied with a sanitation program within the premise itself. In this slide, we would like to highlight on the equipments which shall be designed, placed and maintained as to make all the equipment suitable for intended use, which means all things is used for its purpose, original purpose, and then it's the equipment is facilitated thorough cleaning, which means that there are no equipment that would hinder the sanitation and cleaning program. So the equipment must minimize contamination, which means the placement, the cleaning, all the program that is that would include the equipments must be placed, must be designed in a manner that minimize contamination. And also not only contamination, it also need to minimize the risk of confusion or omission, which in this case would be labeling for those that can that will what will we call as the small things, small equipment that could easily be confused. Second is that manufacturer shall ensure all equipment is regulated regularly. It is calibrated regularly. This is to ensure no errors in the process of manufacturing the cosmetic products. And also, manufacturing step is monitored by recording device. This is to create evidence or to help in recognizing any error that will make cosmetic products what we call as cannot be used. All manufacturing equipments are thoroughly and regularly cleaned, and also records are kept and maintained. The records mentioned is most likely the use of the machine or equipments, and also the cleaning and sanitation, and also if there are any error must be recorded, and of course lastly the calibration of the equipment is recorded. So for this slide I would like to stress about a few points. First one is manufacturing operation. Manufacturing operation must be in accordance with all regulation and standard regarding cosmetics, or if the manufacturing if the organization is also implement halal manufacture, it must also abide the rule of halal manufacturing. Second is quality control department. Manufacturer shall establish a quality control department under the supervision of a qualified person, which means uh, an organization or a, it must have a QC department, quality control. Most likely on several or most company, they would have one QC to ensure that there are no errors within the manufacture of cosmetic product. Second is on quality control department shall control all materials used in manufacturing process, monitor quality aspect of all steps, and also the quality and stability of finished notified cosmetic. The third point that I want to emphasize is on the inspections of the cosmetic products. It must be conducted regularly. And lastly, on the distribution records, distribution record must be maintained and recorded properly for every batch to ensure that the callback can be done in a flawless manner. So that's all for CDCR. Next, we move to Poison Act 1952. Poison Act 1952 is revised on 1989. Purpose is to regulate the importation, possession, manufacture, compounding, storage, transport, sale, and use of poison. Within Poison Act 1952, poison is defined as any substance specified by name in the first column of the poison list, and includes any preparation, solution, compound, mixture, or natural substance containing such substances other than an exempted preparation of an article or preparation, including for the time being in the second schedule. For Poison Act, the section that I want to emphasize is on Section 8, control of imports of poisons. The point is only licensed person can import poison from place outside of Malaysia. This rule is not applied to person arriving in Malaysia from outside of Malaysia as part of personal luggage, which means it is for personal use containing an amount prescribed or as described by standard, which most likely does not exceed 1 month of use by one person. Also, the import of prepared and packaged medicine containing poison for personal or family use by letter or parcel post, which means this is for postage, just like the first one. It is for personal use. Just this one is on the method of posting. Lastly, it is if the person or the poison is exempted by minister. This will be done absolutely or conditionally. Also, now the rule is that imports of any poison contradicting the term and condition of any license granted to him shall be guilty of an offense. The second one is for section 9, packaging and labeling and storing of poisons. The sale and store of drugs must be only on licensed person, which must abide the rule and regulation stated within the any regulation or standard that includes cosmetic products. And the second one for this slide, the third one overall is section 13, the possession for sale and sale of poison in contravention of this act an offense, which means a person is deemed guilty of an offense if he possess or sell any poison without any license, and also if the person with license contravene or does not follow the rule and regulation that has been notified to him. Okay, the fourth one is on section 15, which is the sale of poison by wholesale. No poison shall be sold by wholesale except by licensed wholesaler, which this is for the sale of bulk cosmetics. The second point is on no poison shall be sold by licensed wholesaler except if the person purchasing is licensed. Also, the purchase is made outside Malaysia, whom poison is to be immediately exported on purchase. Also, if the purchase is made by another licensed wholesaler. Fourth is registered medical practitioner or registered dentist for the treatment of his patient or veterinary surgeon. Fifth is licensed pharmacist. Next, government department. Hospital, infirmary, dispensary or veterinary hospital maintained by the government or state or by any local authority or out of public funds or charity approved by an order. Lastly, person or institution concerned with scientific education or research or chemical analysis. For this slide, seller by wholesale should not deliver the cosmetic product until an entry is made, which an entry means that a record of the wholesale, which include information on the debt and the purchaser information. So the purchaser has affixed his signature to the entry or has forward a written order in respect of such sale signed by purchaser. This is to ensure that the purchase is authorized by both parties. Okay, for this slide is on the section 32, which is penalties. Activities that could be deemed as penalties are those party or individuals willingly fails to keep any book, fails to make entry, or false entry. This activity concern mainly on the entry, which means that the Poison Act emphasize on the details of wholesale or the purchase of poison. The penalty for this offense is not more than Rm 5,000 or 2 years of imprisonment or both. For other offences with no specific penalty mentioned in the Act is a fine not more than 3,000 or 1 year of imprisonment or both. Okay, so if an offense is deemed to endanger human life by court, so the offense will be just like I stated just now, a fine of not more than 3,000 ringgit or 1 year imprisonment. Every director or officer of such body corporate that is in the fault of offense may be charged jointly in the same proceedings unless he proves that the offense was committed without his knowledge. This point is to stress that any director officer of an organization can be included in an offense unless he has proved that he is not included within the offense. So for issues on cosmetic, uh, for my point is on glycerin or hydrolyzed collagen from pig. So first we need to understand what is glycerin. Glycerin is an organic compound that is odorless, colorless, sweet, viscous, and weak in toxicity. It is called glycerol and also known as glycerin. Glycerin is originally created by extracting the fats of animals or vegetable oils. So, products made with glycerin or glycerol must have halal certificate if they use fats from animal. Also, if it comes from animals whose meat are forbidden to eat, such as pigs, or it comes from a permissible animal but has not been slaughtered, so it is considered as unlawful, which is haram. This is supported or can be understand from in the verse Al-Ma'idah verse 3, which means prohibited to you are dead animals, the flesh of swine, blood, and that which prohibited to you are dead animals, blood, the flesh of swine, and that which has been dedicated to other than Allah, and those animals that is killed by strangling, or by a violent blow, or by a headlong fall, or by the goring of horns, and those from which a wild animal has eaten, except what you have slaughtered before its death, and those which are sacrificed on stone altars, and prohibited is that you seek decision through divining arrows. That is grave disobedience. So from the verse we can understand that the flesh of swine, which is included within this issue, hydrolyzed collagen from pig, means that any glycerin that include collagen from pig is unlawful and cannot be used by Muslims.